Yo guys, what's going on? It is you and MED back with another video. This time I'm going to be picking my FIFA 21 Team of the Year nomination. I don't know what they call it, but I'm going to be picking my best, who I think are the top 11 players over the past 12 months in football, and who I think has been performing the best. Why am I being quiet right now? I hear you saying it's because my brother is doing his job. He's teaching, and he's doing it downstairs, so I kind of have to keep it down a bit. So we'll go into this straight away, and we'll start with Allison. Allison does not do it for me. Don't get me wrong, he's been a quality keeper for Liverpool, but he's too injury prone. He's not had enough game time this year to outdo some of these other candidates for this vote. That's a pretty simple one. Courtois has had a good year. He's had a good like past 6-7 months. Remember, his career started out quite rough at Madrid, but he sort of pulled it back. But he also is not my vote. Edison, at one stage I thought Edison was better than Allison, but Edison over the past year has just been too mistake prone. He's made too many mistakes, trying to do too much on the ball when he just doesn't really need to. Hradecky, he's been decent, right? He's sort of the underdog in this, but I don't think he's been good enough compared to the keeper I've gone with. But he's had a great year with Bayer Leverkusen. So on to Steven Mandanda, or Big Steve, as otherwise I've called him. Love Big Steve. He's been decent. He's always been decent. He's always been a good keeper, but he's never quite made that step to make him the best keeper in the year or the best keeper in the world. He's never been near that sort of point. But he is not my pick. And he's just I don't get to watch him that much, so I can't really go off him because Marseille don't. I don't want to say they don't do much because they do, but he's just not. He's not that high register name. You don't. If you were to say like, who do you think are the best keepers? Who do you think's been the best keeper this year? Nobody really chucks out Mandanda at you, do they? He- He's they just don't seem to do that, and it's not quite ideal. That it maybe if he played back in the Prem, but he just wasn't great in the Prem. I just don't think he's got enough to do it. Keylor Navas, let's be honest, he's in a farmers league. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say anything other than that. He's not. He doesn't face that many shots. He just doesn't. He doesn't have much to do in goal with the sort of team he's got around him. He looked okay in the Champions League. He didn't look like too much special. Made a few good saves, but I don't think he's been worthy enough of Team of the Year status. So obviously that leaves me with Emmanuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer is my keeper. He's had a great year. He's come back from a couple rough years, and he's just sort of blown up again after Bayern. He's got such a devastating team around him, and he's just sort of holds it together. He's a great leader. He's been he's always been on the pitch. He's always there. He's always helping. He's a great leader of Bayern Munich. And obviously, he was also named Germany's Player of the Year, so that sort of speaks for itself. Right, on to the centre backs now. Acerbi, honestly, yeah, I don't really know. I'm making this up as I go along, right? And Acerbi, I have seen basically nothing of him. I've seen basically no stats from him. I don't know what he's done. He's Inter Milan, they're not a great side, so I just don't really know what sort of year he's had, so I'm going to have to look that up now. And it's not going. He's been played 20 games this season, but it does. He's just never. I just haven't seen enough for him to do it. But I'm not gonna run for every player here, right? I'm just gonna pick who I think. I'm gonna go Alphonso Davies at left back. There is zero question at the moment. He is one of the top two left backs in the world, along with Andy Robertson. Robertson has been performing at a more consistent level for a longer time, in a much, let's be real, better league over here. So that's why I've gone with Davies. Robertson does also get in. I'm gonna play him at right back because I don't think there's that many right backs that have really caught my eye. So I'm gonna have Robertson over at right back. He's been obviously one of the he's been one of the consistent performers for Liverpool. He's got so many assists. Let me just double check my sources, but I'm pretty sure he's got 20 plus assists this year, which is he's performing for a left back. He is an unreal player, and 5 assists this year, 12 assists in the last season. So my stats are a bit incorrect, but he's been superb for Liverpool. He's been one of their most consistent performers, and he's just been untouchable for me. He is one of the best fullbacks in the world. Right here, as a centre back, I have no idea who I want to put in. Right, everybody's saying, "Oh, put Kimpembe in for his overpoweredness." I'm not doing that. Put Hernandez in. I don't play FIFA enough to care about their overpoweredness. So we're just going to pick here, from what I remember seeing, Sergio Ramos. He's another great centre back. He's had another great year. Or do I? Because I know De Vrij has been playing very well as well. I know I've got that. Van Dijk. See, do I drop Van Dijk in? He's a questionable one for me because, yes, he's a great centre back and he has been for Liverpool. Yeah, he has to. He has to. He's picked up that injury against Pickford, which means I was kind of doubting myself on that, but you can't question it. He is very arguably the best centre back in the world right now, and the only person who probably comes close is Sergio Ramos. You can question that. Aymeric Laporte, I liked him because of his injuries. I cannot put him in this team. He looks good when he plays for Man City, but he doesn't play enough. He's just too injury prone. It cost him. Thiago Silva was never a question for me in there, so that's going to be my back line there with those four. So in midfield, I have undoubtedly Bruno Fernandes. As much as my brother's shouting, hang on. As much as I don't like, it's not that I dislike Manchester United, yeah, but the Man United, most of the Man United fans I know, that barring one or two, uh, they're all they all hype him up so much. I mean, I get he is one of the best cams in the world right now, right? But he is not better than De Bruyne. De Bruyne is ridiculous. He is untouchable as the top player. His passing and precision. Yes, Bruno Fernandes gets the goals, right? But De Bruyne has to cope with switching in and out every 2 games. He's got to constantly play with different personnel down the wing. And it's a lot harder to do than Bruno Fernandes. He's constantly got the same people around him, so he can learn what they're gonna do, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier for him. But not taking away from that, he is one of the best players in the world right now, and there is no question about that. See, I would put Son in, right? But Son, he's an attacker for me. I'm not going to put him in midfield, and this is a defensive midfielder, right? So what have we got? Thiago as well. Thiago and Stindl are not getting in, right? So we're left with these lot. And I'm very tempted to go Jordan Henderson. By the way, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm not a Premier League. I'm a Premier League fan, but I support Luton. So this does not. There is no bias in this at all whatsoever. We're down in the Championship having a right old time. I was thinking Henderson. It's got to be Joshua Kimmich. Or how I want to say his name correctly, but I just don't know how. I watched a video on it and everything. But Joshua Kimmich has been unreal this last year. He's been one of the top midfielders in the world. Obviously, that's why he's in this vote. And the thrashing, he's had to switch. When did he switch positions? January-ish. He's swapped from fullback to CDM, and he's adapted, and he's looked superb. His passing, his defending is just unreal. Onto the attackers then. This is very hard for me right here. I'm not going to put Vardy in. I'm not going to put Suarez in. I'm not going to put Sterling in. Sort of bring it there. See, I want to go Jack Grealish, right? I'm not putting Ben yet. I'm not putting anybody past Ronaldo in. There's no question about that. I want to go Jack Grealish, right? Because he has been arguably one of the better wingers, arguably one of the better players in the Prem over the last year, a year and a half. And the thing is, he does that with no help. Not no help, but he has a lack of support around him. The quality he deserves. He doesn't have he doesn't have your Harry Kanes or Sons or Manes or Salahs around him. He has him and some in this season. He's had Ollie Watkins. He's just not been clinical enough. But the amount of chances Jack Grealish makes, there's so many players here that could get in. Cristiano Ronaldo's continued at his rate. There's no question he goes in for me. He has continued at his rate. He does every year, and he's been actually. I'm going to have Ronaldo out on the right. Lewandowski, zero question. Ballon d'Or winner. Should have been Ballon d'Or winner. Should it have not been cancelled? He has to go in. He has been the number one striker in the world. Quote me, I do not give a fuck, because that is what I'm saying. Now we're left with one position. Harry Kane, he was injured from the start of the year, and then he's just not been as good. He's been much better in this season. End of last season, he was not as good as he has been this season, so he's not in it. I'd love to put Danny Ings in. I'm my bias maybe goes towards Southampton because I do really like Southampton as a club. I've got a lot of memories from Southampton. If I didn't support Luton, I would support Southampton, makes me want to put Danny Ings in because of the supporting quality he's had around him. But I just can't. He's been superb. There's no question about that. He was the third top goal scorer, second top goal scorer in the Premier League last season. He's just had too many injuries this season that's affected him there. I would go Haaland. I just don't really. He's been superb. Obviously, he's been superb. There's nobody who can say he hasn't. Mbappe, he's been a bit worse in quality than he was a few years ago. Messi does not get anywhere near for me. Neymar doesn't get in. Salah, I'm questioning. Mane, I'm contemplating. This is going to sound weird, but I'm contemplating between Grealish and Mane. And a lot of people say there's a massive difference in quality between those two players. But I think Jack Grealish, despite how rated he is, he still slides under the radar for how rated he is. But it's Sadio Mane. He's such a great player. He's been great this year. There's just too many options. They need to cut it down, really. I'm gonna pick. I don't know who to pick. Grealish. Grealish does it without a supporting cast, which is why I contemplate Jack Grealish more, just because of he does very similarly style. He plays to a similar level as Mane without the support around him. He's the most fouled player in the Prem. He's ridiculous, but it's Mane. He's so good, and I just can't think. I can't talk myself out of putting Mane in this team, but I want to put Jack Grealish in the team because I feel he deserves it. And it's just so hard to pick. You know what? Yeah, the haters can hate. I'm picking Jack Grealish for the final position of my team of the year 11. This is the team I'm going to put forward. I've explained everyone. I've explained why. The back line just looks self-explanatory for me. Davies unreal. His pace just makes him such a danger. His skills, his passing ability, his ability to track back and defend, unreal. Bruno Fernandes, just Bruno Fernandes. He's been unreal this year. Neuer's just been Neuer. He's been back to the Neuer we've known from 4 or 5 years ago. Sergio Ramos and Van Dijk they're just two solid centre backs who you cannot question. Robertson's been great at left back. I would put. Everyone's going, oh, weren't you putting Trent in this year? Trent has shown he does not deserve this spot based on this season, right? And we're going off 12 months here, and he's had 4-5 months this season. He's not been good enough for the quality we all know he has. He's not been good enough. He's not there consistently. So this is going to be my 11 for the team of the year. Thank you guys for watching. Peace